Yes, we are. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cubist. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist. And today is, I think, in the history of the Cubist, the first show we've ever had where there are no new faces. Everyone here has been on the show before, but that's all right because it's... What was that?
Bells.
Whoa. I was going to say, it's like funeral bells for somebody. Whoa. No. Anyway, but all the people that are on the show are awesome folk. First and foremost, I always introduce you last, and I feel terrible about it. First and foremost, our co-host for today, the Aquaman of the Justice League. That is the What Did You Play This Week podcast thing. Brandon,
I am the Aquaman. Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
And then joining us are also other sometimes co-host. Kimberly Bullock is here, but she's a guest today, not a co-host.
Yay.
As is Kevin Crane, who has been on the show a couple weeks ago. Hi, you two. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi.
So the reason that they are guests today instead of co-hosts, everybody, is because today we are talking about conventions. That's hence the name Con Job. Kevin and Kimberly are two of the organizers of the Granite Game Summit convention held up in New Hampshire. And so we're going to pick their brains about organizing conventions and watching them grow. And this will be fun for me, especially as I founded a convention myself back here a number of years ago. So I actually will get to not just ask questions, but maybe even sound like I know what I'm talking about tonight. It'll be a nice change of pace. So, but first, as always, time to talk about stuff we've been playing. What have you been playing lately, Kevin?
So I think the last time I was on, I said I don't get to play much, but since I've gotten back from BGG Con, I've played a whole bunch. So
outstanding.
I've been playing all the games I've gotten from Kickstarter as of late. So the little ones that I can play with my kids.
Oh, sure.
I think the favorite is the Princess and the Goblin.
Princess and the Goblin. Okay.
Yeah, by Bellwether.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Give us a quick elevator sales pitch. How does it work?
You are lost in the heart of the mountain. You can uncover the path home, or will the goblin catch you? Escape the mountain and collect R clues. Then your opponents to win the game.
Just
Man,
pull
I
the
didn't know I could do that way.
That's 100% cheating, but it was fun to watch. There you go. All right.
So basically, it's tiles and like a memorization game where you're putting the tiles and you're trying to get stuff from the goblins and take it out of the mountain. Pretty cool.
Excellent. All right. And what is it like? It's obviously a family weight game. You said it was something that you play with your family, with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. On the Cubist scale, buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
I would buy it. It's really good, actually.
Nice.
If you like memory games, it's very good.
You did. Okay. Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. I am famous in my game group for hating anything with a memory aspect, because I don't have one. So if it involves actively trying to remember things, I'm pretty much out. Like the one game that I will tolerate that has a memory aspect is the Adventurers, the Temple of Chalk one, where you have to, there's that. Have you guys played this game? No? All right.
No.
So there's a segment of the game where you can look at a card for 5 seconds, and that card will clue you as to one glyph later on that is a trap. And if you move your piece onto there, you will die. And it's basically like the first 15 minutes of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the board game. You're being chased by a boulder, and you're trying to run through this temple and collect treasure and get out before you get squashed by the boulder or trapped inside as the boulder seals up the exit. So it's got a memory aspect to it, and I can deal with that, but that's just because it's silly and ridiculous and everybody dies, and so it's fun. It's one of those where you're expected to screw up. So as long as the expectations are nice and low like that, it works out well. I just realized I just quickly gave a review of a game I haven't played in 3 years. So there we go. On the Cubist scale, that's a buy it. It's a buy it. Well, no, it's I was vacillating between play it and buy it because it's good. It's really good. It can be a little bit frustrating, but it doesn't outstay its welcome. So it's a buy it. If you find a copy of it, you should pick it up. Kimberly, what have you been playing?
I've actually played quite a bit, but I think I was planning on talking about Paris Connection. Oh, can we ask really quickly if the video has cleared up for people? I've heard there's video glitch. Anybody?
There was a video issue?
I'll ask.
There was a video issue, yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully that's fixed.
Oh, it's just Matt. Yeah,
It's just
Matt's
Matt.
probably the one that did it. It's probably his fault.
I would blame
I'm
Matt.
worried.
Matt is also feeding me the description of the game. So
There you go. Yeah.
because I panicked and realized I forgot a description of the game, just if I liked it.
That's why you have the box right next to you.
It's not my game.
There's connection's a big one, so you just use it to cover your face.
Yes, there
I
you
could
go.
have. That's so much better. Okay, so I really liked Paris Connection,
Okay.
which is like an 18xx extra light. Thank you, Matt.
Oh Lord.
We build train lines and collect the stock.
Okay.
It's super lightweight. It was easy to play with my kid.
Like Ticket to Ride light
Clever.
or lighter?
I think it's actually easier to teach probably than Ticket to Ride, but there's a little extra strategy to it.
Okay.
And really cute train meeples, like a million of them.
Yeah. The only thing that I remember that I know about it is that A, it was just on sale on Amazon, which is why everybody was talking about it all of a sudden. And B, that setup was apparently this huge mess of chaos of like dumping a bunch of stuff all over the board and then picking it all back up. So it's sort of like 52 pick up the board game, for lack of a better
Yeah,
term.
there are so many tiny trains, and you have to put them all in a bag, so they have to be mixed up. So you can blind draw 10 of them, and then you have to separate them all back out and put them on their individual colored boards. Bit of a hassle, but the rest of it's really good.
You know what? Heavy setup isn't terrible as long as the game's worth it, right?
Exactly. And it wasn't
And
that bad. There were 3 of us. We set it up relatively quickly.
Okay. And the game was worth it?
Yep. That I would rate it a buy it.
It's a buy it. Okay. Especially at $14 like it was on Amazon. Yeah.
Exactly.
In the chat room, Matt pointed that out. Yeah. Yeah. I almost pulled the trigger on that, and then I decided not to at the last minute. And I don't know why I didn't, but I probably should. There you go.
It was enjoyable enough that I plan to get it for my kids. So.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, you mean your kids that are only maybe appropriate to see certain movies? Those kids?
What?
Didn't you have a thing where one of your kids like snapped or because the waitress said something about?
Yeah, I took Arabella to see Arrival.
Yes.
On Friday, and they treated her like she was 8. She's 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
probably smarter than a lot of 22-year-olds that I have to deal with on a regular basis, I'm guessing. So,
right.
Nice. Brandon, what have you played this week? See what I did there?
Yeah. Good. I haven't played anything this week because this week for me started today. So all I've been playing is Overwatch. But Saturday we had a game day at the library, and we'll just kind of talk about Fuji Flush. How about that one?
Sure.
Just a little card game. If you're familiar with Linko or a Bluxen, whichever version you prefer to call it, it's kind of the opposite. You're just wanting to get rid of cards instead of bring the cards to you. And so basically, you're on your turn, you're playing a card. It's a numerical value 1 through 20, and they are weighted. You have more in the 2 range than you have in the 20 range. I think 16 through 20, you only have 1 card each. So anyway, you're going around and you're playing. So you play like a 3. If somebody plays a 4, your 3 goes away, and you have to draw a card because they played higher. But the neat little trick to it is that you could add cards together. So if somebody plays a 4 and then later somebody else plays a 4 before they flush, that now becomes an 8 and would knock out everybody who has a 7 or below. So it's just a fun little kind of, it has some moments of teamwork in there. And then as soon as that team has formed, you lop off its head and you take them out as well. So it's fun.
Jeez. Wow. Wait, that sounds so Highland. No, it's funny because this game, like in the way all right, first let's get your rating. So buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
At $10, it's a buy it.
It's a buy it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care who you are.
I don't even care who you are. I heard about this game and I did not find the idea particularly compelling, which is weird because I'm a little bit of a Priest fanboy. And it felt like a Bluxen or Linko or whatever we're calling it this week. Which one are we calling it? Which have we decided?
I think my copy is
Linko's
Linko.
the US.
Yeah.
Mine is Linko as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I only played it as a Bluxen. That's why I always think of it as that.
Well, why don't you
I think
just-
Rhiannon would hit you if you called it Linko, but
Well, Rhiannon's always ready to hit me. That's really kind of that's a standard state of affairs. Anyway, it felt like so much of a knockoff that I didn't find the idea of it particularly compelling. But I don't know. Maybe I probably just need to give it a try.
I don't remember what Linko played with.
we should give it a try.
We played this with 7 and 8 players, and it was quite a bit of fun that way. I haven't tried it at the lower 3 or 4 player count. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I've never played one of the other ones, and I got to play this at BGG Con, and I thought it was really great for 7 players. I think I played with. So,
Okay. So maybe that's the catch, right? Is that it plays with a higher player count? I seem to recall playing a Bluxen with like 5 or 6, but I don't exactly remember. Obviously,
I think it is 2 to 5 a Bluxen, and it's terrible at 2. So
Sure.
you can't really play it at 2. There's a variant that is awful.
yeah.
Oh, and yet again with the whole 2-player variants that are actually kind of garbage compared to how the game is meant to be played. There's a part of me that just wishes people wouldn't do that. Just don't put 2 players on it. If it sucks at 2-player, don't do it. Not every game has to be played with every count. Boo.
No.
All right, but this is a buy it, huh?
It is a buy it. You mentioned it. It is Freedom and Frieza,
Yes.
and it is Stronghold Games here in the U.S. So,
Gotcha. Very cool. I have played a lot of, and actually I got to teach my dad finally came to a board game night for the first time in a long time last week. My dad just recently retired. And so he hasn't been able to do any of the weeknight gaming like my group normally does. And so he finally showed up last week, and we had planned a game of and taught Great Western Trail, also from Stronghold. Yeah, Alexander Pfister's new hotness. I picked up a copy for Captain Buys a Lot when I was at BGG Con. It was his copy, and the fun thing about it is that he wasn't the first person to play his copy. I wasn't the first person to play his copy. Rodney Smith from Watch It Played was the first person to play Captain Buys a Lot's copy because he was looking for a copy of it at BGG. And I said, well, if you're willing to punch my friend's copy, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. So I might pull a Kevin and go get a prop because I have Rodney left his score sheet inside the box, and I lifted it and held onto it because I plan on blackmailing him with it later because he did terrible and got his butt kicked. So, all right. So enough of all that nonsense. Great Western Trail is kind of a deck building game, for lack of a better term. It's, it is a deck builder, but that's not all it is. So the basic idea is that you have a personal deck of cattle cards, and those cattle have different values and then different colors. And you're going to be going up the Great Western Trail. And when you get to Kansas City, you show whatever your hand is at that moment, and you get to score every color that you have. So every different color. If you have multiple cards the same color, you only score 1. And so you score 1 card from every color, and the higher that number is, the more money you'll get for your next trip through the thing, and also the better placement you'll get of a piece later on. So it works really, really well. There's the variability in setup is such that you will get a different play experience. I've played 3 games now, 2 at 2-player and 1 at 4-player. And I think that all 3 of the games felt very, very different. The 2 2-player games, we shuffled the starting locations or whatever, and that definitely changed things up. So it definitely felt a lot different at all the different player counts. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a play it though. And here's why. I have a feeling that after 5 to 10 games of it, it might feel a little samey. Like there is definitely a different feel across player counts, and every game felt a little different, but I don't think it's got that kind of long staying power. I've only played 3 times, so I don't really know, but it's not a game that I feel like, boy, I really wish I had a copy on my shelf. I'm completely happy for when Captain Buys a Lot brings it over with his stuff.
So we're supposed to play games more than once? I'm confused. Right?
Yeah. You would think.
Kevin.
You would think for sure. But it's it's good. It's real. I mean, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know that it's necessarily one that needs to be in my collection. So Great Western Trail, I think it's a play it. It's good though, and I think that there are a lot of people that are going to fall more in love with it than I did. It's a solid game. It's just not an essential game to me. So there you go.
Had you played Mombasa before?
I had played Mombasa once, and it was taught incorrectly.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about it. It's sitting up
there. So you
there.
hadn't played Mombasa.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
The only things that were taught.
That's like a kind.
Yeah. Well, there were like 2 rules that got taught incorrectly. And they were, I think, fairly minor, but they impacted my play because of the and I'm going to use the word strategy really lightly here, that I had tried to embrace. I felt like there were things that I just didn't understand, that when I asked questions, I got incorrect answers to.
Okay.
So I feel like I got a decent play, but I need to play it again for sure.
Yeah.
And it's Captain Buys-a-Lot. He has abandoned it on top of my shelf. So it's up there, I believe. It's part of the growing stack of stuff that he leaves here for our weekly game days. So
Eric says it's all about the bananas, Bill.
It is indeed all about the bananas. That is not incorrect, at least not from my experience. So,
Brandon disagrees. I don't know.
Brandon, it's not all about the bananas?
I'm just being goofy. Sorry.
There's also pith helmets. I know that.
There are pith helmets. And there are books.
And there are also books. And there are weird
It's
diamonds.
all about the bookkeeping.
I know that a lot of people, since we're talking about Mombasa, have said that the theme really bugs them. That they would like the game better if it was themed any other way. And because it's the colonialism of Africa of India and
you were right.
It was Africa.
No,
I said it right. Yeah. It was colonialism and kind of an icky, it's just an icky time period in world history that some folks don't. So I definitely, I understand that. To me, I didn't get that. Like it didn't even occur to me. And the one time I played it, I never even thought about it. But then again, I'm occasionally an insensitive clod who doesn't think about that kind of stuff at all. Like, hey, no, I remember when Puerto Rico first came out, the hubbub about the little brown colonists, and everybody was really mad that they were dark brown pieces of wood because they were slaves and not colonists or whatever. And I never even thought about that because to me, they were pieces of wood. You know, like I never even, so I may very well actually be an insensitive clod. I'm not just picking on myself. It's definitely possible. All right. But you know what happens? This is the worst segue ever, but I'm going to go with it because I don't care. You know what happens when you get like 500 insensitive clods together in a room? You have a board game convention. See, I told you it was awful.
Yeah.
I told you.
That was the worst intro to our convention ever. Thank you.
I know. It was real bad.
Not how I would say anything about our fine people that come to our.
This is live.
Our wonderful attendees.
I know.
Bill.
You know what? I told you I was an insensitive clod. No. So
there'll be one there.
Yeah,
that's what you're
for
saying.
sure there will be one this coming spring for sure, and a very slightly ashamed woman walking around with him going, "I'm really sorry, everybody. I'm really sorry." But so what we're talking about is Granite Game Summit, which is the second weekend in April 2017 is the spring one, right? April 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, see how I did my research? So
Yeah, you did.
So that is a small but growing convention in New Hampshire that is organized by Kevin and Kimberly, which is part of, and others, but they're
And Mike. There's one other. Michael Taylor.
Okay, but Mike bailed on us at the last minute, so he's dead to us for the next half an hour or so. But in the meanwhile, we'll talk to the cool ones. I really hope he comes back and watches the show later so that we can hear the complete strangers trash talking him. This will be fun. So Granite Game Summit. I can speak to this on a personal level as well, as I mentioned before at the top, because I was one of the founders of the Gaming Hoopla held in southeastern Wisconsin and now northeastern Illinois. So this is a particular this is a beloved topic to me because I went through a lot of what you guys went through years ago. I went through it years ago is what I mean. And so I want to ask you guys this. Why? Because I know how crazy convention organization can make you. So why would you do this to yourself? Like what caused you to want to do this?
Yeah. It's just, there's a need for one in our local area. We really significantly lacking. And it all started on Twitter, right, Kev?
Yeah. I would say for me, there was another convention over here that was called Unity that was like a 1-day open gaming thing that was really awesome, and then it just kind of floated off into the nether to not be had again. So it was definitely a lack, like Kimberly said. And then we just kind of met at BGG Con last year and decided to do a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a tweet. It was a tweet, and then we just kind of went from there.
So G2S has only existed in any form for like a year.
Yep.
Well,
Really?
yeah, a little less than a year. We've had 2 1-days, and
We've had 2 one-day events. The first was in May, but I think we actually started in January. So not even quite a year yet, and we're already on to our first multi-day.
Yes, the multi-day birthday party in April.
Yeah.
Very good. And no, that's okay. So this was literally just you looked around and realized that there was a niche that needed filling, and you decided you were the people to do it. Do any of you, including and I'm going to let you speak for Mike because he failed. He bailed on us, and so he can't speak for himself. I'm just going to keep throwing that in there until eventually.
That's good for him. Yeah.
There you go. So
makes him feel pretty.
Exactly. Did any of you have any convention organizing or any sort of event planning experience at all before this?
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike did.
Mike did. I have like fundraiser experience, but not convention specific. But.
Right. Okay. But I mean, really, event planning. I mean, there are obviously very specific things that go into a board game convention compared to any other kind of an event. But at its heart, it's still event planning. There are still the basics that you always have to get covered for any kind of event where you want the public to show up, right? Like anything that isn't invitation only has the same basic roots. So I think if you do fundraisers, and convention can really be very similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
The basics.
It's even more similar when are you guys a for-profit or a non-profit or?
We are technically a for-profit, though we do not pay ourselves.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I just meant on the organizational side of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think most of the big conventions are technically for-profit, even though nobody works them actually makes any money.
Yeah.
Because there's tens of dollars to be made in running board game conventions, unless they are a nonprofit. Like unless you're doing it as a fundraiser.
Right.
Pretty much if you break even, it's a happy day.
Oh, we've always broken even. We do well.
Yeah. That's why we're able to grow, because we're doing just a little bit better so we can afford that next one.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys not only are going to a multi-day from a single day, but you also changed venues, right? And are going to a much larger venue, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir. Much larger, much newer, much higher tech. It's all good.
What this would be me trying to get you to mention the venue itself so that way people know where the location is.
That would be wise, Kevin.
I'm the responsible one today.
Well, I have a feeling you're always the responsible one in this particular dynamic, sir.
So it's at the Courtyard Marriott in Nashua, New Hampshire. They have a brand new event center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice.
And you guys, have you now tickets are on sale now, right? According to your website.
So tickets are on sale now. Yep.
Okay. What's your planned attendance?
Hopefully between 350 and 500. We've sold out of our other 2 events, so probably closer to 500, but we'll see.
Nice. Well, and you get the extra bump for the Bill's birthday party, of course. That'll probably help, right? Which reminds me, Bill should probably get a badge someplace fairly soon here.
Yes.
All right, so
it's all those people that sit on the fence and don't buy their tickets. You need to buy your tickets because that helps us plan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And then it makes us have to turn people away at the door. We could have made it more space last time, but nobody got on the wait list until it was too late. So
Gotcha.
Sorry, guys. You got to get in on that.
All right. So I will buckle down and I will buy my badge this weekend. We'll get it taken care of one way or the other. Okay. So when we're this has been a lot of inside baseball talking about G2S specifically, but I kind of want to pick your brains a little bit on the actual steps that you guys went through in order to make this, because your growth level is pretty huge for a convention that's only had 2 one-day events. I mean, to be able to go into your first weekend and have a realistic expectation of 500 attendees is a really big deal. I mean, other conventions, it takes a lot longer to get to that milestone for other small conventions. So you guys clearly must be doing something right, or you just have a lot of convention-starved board gamers in New Hampshire. Like it's probably a combination of both.
Combination, Bill. Thank you. Yeah.
I was working up to that. No,
we're doing really well. We expected 60 people for our first one. Literally, we sat down, we crunched numbers, and said, "Okay, if we can get 60 people."
It was basically
amazing.
It was basically 20 people each. We each figured I think we can pull in 20 people.
So you use the Amway theory of how to get your business to work is like you drew circles and lines for each other and you said, okay, look, if you get 20 people and those people get 20 people.
I'm not saying it's a pyramid scheme.
We knew it.
But it worked. I mean, we ended up selling out at 240. So we did better than we expected.
Wait, so you planned for 60 and got 240?
We hoped for 60. That was our initial goal. I mean, we really wanted 100, but we were like, come on, 60, as long as we hit 60 and we can break even. And yeah.
I was going to say, so for those of you watching, again, sorry, there's going to be a little bit of inside baseball, and I almost can't help it because I've done all this as well. So I'm there's a little bit of lingo being thrown around. There's a break-even point for every convention where you kind of do the math and you realize, look, if we don't sell this many badges, we're going to lose our butts. And that break-even point, that's probably the most terrifying part of the first iteration of any convention, right? Is just waiting. Oh God, are there really going to be, nobody loves us. Why isn't anybody here? Why haven't people showed up yet?
We were lucky with our first venue. They allowed us to grow. So we had space for 60 to 100. And then when we were surpassed that, they were like, wait, we have this nice bigger space. So we were able to move into there. So that helps a lot.
A week before, literally a week before the event, we doubled our space and doubled our cost and still managed to sell an additional 100+ tickets. So
wow, that's you guys got really lucky with the venue. Then it sounds like, I mean, having a venue that can adapt like that is kind of unheard of.
Well, that's part of the reason you choose the venue, though. I mean, that goes into your event planning.
Okay, but did you know that this had you pre-cleared this with them, that if you had a sudden, did you think to yourself, gosh, we could get 240 people, we should find a venue that can adapt from 60 to 240? Did that thought process happen?
Yeah,
it did.
We had a growth plan with the hotel. Mm-hmm.
I don't think the number got quite as high as 240 when we were talking.
Yeah, right. We were thinking,
but we definitely were higher than, I think we tripled the number or something like that originally. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is. I think that's a thought process that honestly I don't think anybody has early on in the process, right? Later on, when okay, this is working, we don't know how big, but we might want a hall that can allow us to grow. I think that's excellent, but I don't feel like that's a conversation that most planners have right out the gate on their first iteration. So good on you for that. That's awesome.
Yay.
What kind of how did you go about staffing it? So there are people requirements that go into convention as well, right? You can't just open the doors and say, here you go, give her hell, and then walk away.
Let's see, there was Kimberly and Mike.
And Mike.
That was it.
Really? That's your entire staff?
That's our entire actual staff. Yes, we have volunteers.
Okay. Oh, okay. So when I was using the word staff here, I meant all the people that you have working there. So how many people does it take to get G2S off and running?
Not very many.
Yeah, the first two single days wasn't that much.
No, okay. I mean the three of us doing 90% of the work and probably 10 or so people helping for the last 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
But that was really that 10% was really super helpful.
Oh no, it's the day up. It's the thing that matters. It's the making sure people can get checked in quickly and that they understand how the library works, and
punching all the games that we got donated.
Punching all the games, yeah. Volunteers make the con work. Without them, we would not be able to do it. So
for sure. So you guys do provide a library also?
It's a very small library right now, but yes.
Okay. And it's primarily donation driven, it sounds like?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of it's behind me in these boxes right there.
Oh, you're the keeper of the library, huh?
I think I have
more. Yep.
He doesn't need a hanger just yet, but they're getting there.
Nice. So, and I don't know how many publishers we actually have that watch the show or whatever, but just let's throw it out there. If publishers did want to donate, would they, if they hit you on Twitter at G2 Summit, that would probably be the way
at G2 Summit or at info@granitegamesummit.com.
Okay, cool. So we, if you want to have your game be featured in their library, that's the way to do it. That's a good thing.
Yes. We also do play to win too. So
see, and that's that's a
play to
really
win.
big deal. We stole that at the Gaming Hoopla. We stole that idea from we saw it first
Geekway.
at Geekway, yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's I think Geekway might be sort of where that whole thing kind of started, and then everybody's sort of been borrowing it.
Yeah,
That's how they'll tell it.
great idea.
That's how they'll tell it.
Nice.
Yep, I don't know any other way, but yeah.
Yeah, it really is a fun idea, and it works so well. And I don't know. I think there are some people, and I actually know a couple people that are like, well, I don't want a used game when I win it. Really? It's going to be used
It's
after you win it?
game.
Wow, it's a free game. What? I don't know. I've heard people grumble about it.
People are
before.
silly.
Right. Those are the insensitive clouds that I was talking about before.
Everyone has different opinions. Everyone's opinions
And
are good.
some of them are wrong. No, everyone's opinions are not good, Kevin Crane. We are allowed to take a hard line in the sand on this one. Boo, people that don't like free games. Actually, I called into Rich Summers' excellent podcast, Cardboard, this evening, right before we went on the air today. And somebody right before me had said something about Rich had said that he would send him a copy of a game. I think it was Legends of Andor, because it's been sitting on his shelf unplayed for like 3 years and it sounded like a good fit for him and his family. And the guy was like, well, let me check with my wife. And Rich is like, it's a game. You won it. It's a free prize that I'm sending you. Yay. And the guy was like, oh, well, okay. Yes, you're right. And no one like, you have to check on that? I don't feel like you should have to check on free stuff.
Hey, to each their own. I mean, maybe their space is limited.
Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks for backing me up. I appreciate it.
I know. I'm sorry. We're nice convention runners and happy elves.
Yes. And I'm the insensitive cloud and the Grinch.
We're the jolly elves. Yeah.
Yes. It's cool. I know my role. It's all right. All right. So we've talked about the location and how important it was for you to find a location that would allow you to adapt. And now you've changed locations.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've completely outgrown the other place. Like they capped it about 240 and now you're expecting possibly as many as 500. So it was time to move. That makes perfect sense. Staff, it sounds like you keep it to a bare minimum. You've got the 3 of you and then some volunteers.
Yeah, this time it's definitely going to be different because 3 days.
3 days.
Right.
We're going to have a lead volunteer and a whole system worked out.
Sure. And this is still something that you guys are in the process of inventing. It sounds like, hey?
Well, I mean, yeah, you kind of got to build it from the ground up, right?
Sure. I just meant that you guys are still in your learning process as well, which is part of why I find this, I thought this was an interesting topic. So what about, how do you advertise? I mean, it doesn't hurt that you have an internet celebrity as one of your organizers, right? So, I mean, when you've got a Twitter celebrity that's what can be the face of the company, that doesn't hurt your cause much, but.
Yep. I'm the bulk of our
I know. I'm super popular. Everyone knows me.
You,
Kevin.
Yeah. We use social media and a couple of local game stores and meetup groups. But aside from that, it's a lot of Kimberly advertising.
For the record, viewers, for those of you that don't Twitter all that terribly much, me calling her an internet celebrity is probably going to earn me a significant amount of when I get to my birthday party in April.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I'm not scared of you. I've seen how short your legs are. I'm reasonably sure I could run away.
What?
Terrible. But yeah, no, it's okay. So social media has been a pretty powerful advertising tool for you guys. Is it primarily Twitter? Or, I mean, you exist on Facebook. I know that.
It's primarily Twitter, though. We utilize both, but Twitter is our main one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I also say a lot of the guerrilla marketing we do to all the meetups in the area is really powerful too.
Yeah, that does too. And
Especially,
Matt just mentioned that he found it through Reddit, and Kevin.
yeah. So I do one thing on social. That's my thing.
Yeah, Kevin.
Hey, for the record, if you can brave the choppy waters that are Reddit and actually come out with a soul, I think you're doing all right in and of itself. Like Reddit, I've never had a good experience. That's all I'm saying.
Just ignore the haters. It's all good.
I told you this is my role. I'm the cranky old guy now. Like Brandon's the nice one. I'm the cranky one. That's how you can tell us apart, by the way.
That's true, because you are very similar looking when you've got the same beard.
Yes.
Just it's the beard and the hair.
Yes, and the glasses and all the other
and the face
and the general face. Yeah, this general region right here is really
just all of that.
Just,
you just motioned to all of this.
Yes, exactly. It's all.
Yep. I just keep hitting my mic. Sorry.
Yeah, we know. You know, it's almost like you've never done this before.
I usually don't gesture with my hands quite so much.
Yeah, last week you got yelled at for moving your microphone repeatedly over and over. And
I know it took me a minute before I realized that you were telling me to stop touching.
Thank you, Matt. By the way, I want to thank our guest Matt that was on last week for scolding her mightily for touching her microphone because somebody needs to do it. Damn it.
Yep, he sent it out to all of my things, so I would see one of them to tell me to stop touching my mic.
Nice. All of your things. All right. So let me ask you this. What is the goal for G2S? Like, because I mean, some people think, well, someday we'd like to be, Gen Con sized, and some we'd like to be BGG sized. We'd like to be Origins, whatever. Do you have a goal like that? Or is this just kind of let's ride the wave and see how far it takes us sort of thing?
Kev, you want to talk?
Sure, I'll talk. For me, I'm just kind of riding the wave. I don't ever want to be a Gen Con. I don't know. I think all three of us are on the same board with that. But yeah, we'll see how far it goes.
I mean, it sounds like you might be able to make hundreds of dollars if you were Gen Con sized. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
As opposed to tens of dollars. No? Not a thing?
No, that's not really why we made it. Yeah, no.
I think that the pressure that would come along with a convention that large would make me crazy. I definitely understand. Although you also have the advantage of having a lot more people. Many hands make light work, or however that. I feel like you know what I mean. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but not so much, huh? That's not really
That's not a goal. No.
Not a goal. All right. So where do you see this ending up in, say, 5 years? Like, where do you want this to be?
I mean, we have like an actual goal set plan. I don't know that we really have discussed it publicly ever.
Oh, okay. So I'm outing you here. Sorry about that.
I think we have an end game goal cap of 1,000.
Okay, so you get to 1,000.
We would never want to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's like our agreed on number.
That makes sense. So that's all right. So you're looking at about a third the size of BGG, just to give people a concept of scale, or about half the size of Geekway. I think Geekway is hovering at about 2,000 now.
Yep, I think so.
Looking at 25 next year.
Oh yeah, because of the venue change for sure.
The new venue, they changed too.
Yes. If we want to keep it Granite Game Summit, which refers to the state we all live in, we have very limited choices on venues. So that sounds good.
There was the ability to go bigger, even if it was.
1,000 is about as much as we can fit in at any viable venue currently. Who knows what will happen, but for now.
Just because there aren't venues in New Hampshire?
Correct.
Nope. Yeah.
Well, New Hampshire.
There are very few.
New Hampshire is the state the size of a shoebox. So, I mean, I guess that makes a certain amount of, I kid a little bit, but we actually had this conversation, and I think that it was figured out that, okay, so New Hampshire is what, like 2.5 hours end to end driving? Is that the idea?
If you go top to bottom, no,
it's a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Side to side, it's about
like an hour and a half to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 2.
Okay. Gotcha. See, it's hard for me in terms of scale. I live in Wisconsin, which is sort of an exactly middle of the road sized state, right? Like it's not particularly small. It's not particularly big. But and so I can't, and I've never visited New England, so I have no concept of all the wee little states once you get up in that general direction. So,
I mean, you can look at Granite Game Summit as, you know, a New England con. Anything around here is really a New England thing.
Within a couple hours. Yeah.
Okay, because it's a reasonable drive from, you know, obviously Vermont, and I think you guys are pretty close to Maine, right?
Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not far to Portland, Maine. It's not far to Boston. It's not far from Hartford, Connecticut. They're all within a few hours. We have a lot of people who come from New Jersey, New York.
Yeah, I know Bangor is at least sort of in your wheelhouse, because otherwise.
Oh my gosh, Bangor's actually pretty far because it's way up in Maine, but they still come down.
Okay, gotcha. I know that the flip the table guys,
right? They come
down, so maybe they just really like you.
They do.
Yeah, well, it's because you're an internet celebrity.
Those internet celebrities got to stick together.
I know, right? Like when you get a certain level of celebrity, it's like a secret club.
Exactly.
Someday I'm going to be in that club. It's going to be amazing.
In April, you'll be in that club. Though.
No, in April I will be a guest of that club. I will not. I'm just so I don't know. Do we need to explain this? All right. So my birthday is the end of March, and so there better be cake. Is there going to be cake?
Didn't Matt offer to jump out of a cake for you?
Well, I don't know if he offered. I know that you.
Well, we maybe offered Matt to jump out of a cake for you. Yeah, that might be it.
I suppose. I have been.
I don't think you'd want to eat that cake.
No, actually, I don't really even want a person to jump out of a cake at all.
Oh, okay.
That was
so you just
really
your. Little cake.
I literally just want cake. Look,
okay.
The cake is delicious, and I'd like to eat it. And I would prefer if mostly naked people weren't inside it.
And nobody said anything about it being naked, Bill.
I said mostly naked. I wouldn't want to be in a cake with all my clothes on. That'd be disgusting. All of it's disgusting. Everything about this is disgusting. Stop it. Nothing good is coming from this conversation. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
It's 2 weeks in a row of that. I'm sorry. You're welcome.
I'm so glad that we got Kimberly in her giggly mode tonight. Is that booze?
No, that is water.
All right. Just checking.
I'm just a sleepy elf, remember?
Yes, we'll go with that. All right. So you started it to fill a niche that existed in the community. It sounds like you guys have done a great job with it. You've got a stated goal. If somebody were thinking about starting a convention in their area, either because they feel like there's a niche that needs filling there, or because they this is something that they've always wanted to do. Like I know for me, it was a mix of those two things. I felt like there wasn't a convention in my area anymore, and plus we wanted to do a fundraiser with mine, which is a little bit of a different story. So, but if somebody saw that niche and wanted to move forward with it, what would be the things that you would like either caution them to look out for or inspire them to work towards? Like what are the tips and tricks? And that's such an open-ended question, but you know what I mean? Like where would you go?
Go ahead, Kevin.
I'll
you
start
can
taking notes now.
You do all the things. That's all you have to do is all the things.
Number one, all the things.
So no, for me, it's know your strengths and weaknesses. I do not do advertising well, and I know other people do, and not advertising. That's the bad thing.
Publicity.
Publicity. Thank you.
Publicity, yeah.
PR. Right. But I'm really good at like organization and,
calling people. Kevin calls people.
Calling people. Yes, I can talk to people on the phone.
Kimberly does not use a phone like an adult. That's Kevin's job.
Yes.
So I'm more of a Kimberly than a Kevin on that one. So I feel you.
See, you need a Kevin in the group who will actually call places though and not have a panic attack about it.
Okay.
So making sure like whatever finding people that will fill your weaknesses.
Okay. So for instance,
you have to all bring a different thing to the table.
Okay.
And we all did.
Okay. So what is Mike that dissed us tonight's thing?
Mike has
he
more
had
event
actual
planning.
event planning.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Like professional event planning. And he also has dealt with social marketing a little bit more too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Kevin, who is the organizer and the guy that is willing to pick up the phone. We have
Kevin
Kimberly.
is the one that takes care of like lawyers and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Business
so he's
side.
He's the business side of things. We have Kimberly, the self-proclaimed hater of humanity, who is also an internet celebrity.
And I do all of the publicity.
Right, and you're sort of the face of things. Is that a safe?
And I run, I guess, and I run the blog, and I update the website and stuff now. That was initially Kevin's, but I took that over.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you how much of this publicity type stuff you do now, considering that you and I have been friends now for a couple of years. We've talked about how much you, in general, have always claimed to not like people, right? Like the people weren't your. It was part of your Twitter profile for about a year and a half. So I don't really feel like you get to hide on this one. Like you put it, humans not so much, right?
And now, what's it say? Like some are okay.
Now we changed it. You were very excited. You were very proud of that change when you made it.
Yeah. See.
So what?
It's a lot, the publicity. Yeah.
See, but okay. So now I'm not. I don't mean to make this sound like I'm questioning you or saying that you're wrong, but you were talking about how everybody needs to find their strengths, and we're literally talking about something that you have always claimed you weren't a particularly big fan of as being the thing that is your strength. How does that work?
Well, I knew that. Well, we should break it down into groups. This also mattered. I know publishers and designers. Kevin knew local indie designers. I know some more published ones, and Mike knew more gamers in the area. So that was a pretty big component.
Okay. So you had the industry side connections,
right?
Okay. Internet celebrity.
And Mike had some too, but they were like distinct. You both had different groups that you hung out.
Yeah,
right.
Individual.
Sure. Okay. All right. And I think that can't be overstated enough either. Is the ability to successfully network and identify the people around you that will be helpful is also a really big deal as well. And that isn't to say that you have to know people. You don't have to be any kind of an industry insider or an internet celebrity or anything like that to do this, but it doesn't hurt if you have one to take advantage of it, right? Like it's not going to hurt your cause.
It doesn't hurt, no. And even within like the game stores, I walk into the game store and people know who I am, not from Twitter, but because I go in and help people every time I'm there.
Oh, okay.
I'm always teaching somebody a game or helping them pick games.
Gotcha.
I don't ever actually remember anybody's names, but I often end up helping people.
But you're that lady that goes into game stores and teaches. That's cool.
Yeah. I never intend to do it, but I always end up doing it. Mm-hmm.
That's
fine. I like to see people find games they enjoy, so it's good.
That ends up being my role at conventions as well, actually, is that's sort of that. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with somebody, I don't remember who it was. I think there were a grand total of 2 games I played at BGG-Con that I wasn't the teacher of. And they were the 2 learning games that I had of, like the learning game of Hampshire and the learning game of Mask of Anubis. And otherwise, I think every single game I played all weekend was well, no, that's not true. There were a couple games that late night on Fancy Gaming Night that I learned.
Oh, yeah, we played Mino and Tari. You hadn't.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, we played like 7 minutes of that. I don't know that really counts.
Ta-da. And yeah, we played a bunch of weird things.
Yeah, we did play the weird stuff. Okay, so besides those, but yeah, so that ends up being my role as well. So I can definitely empathize with that.
I would say, and we didn't like plan this to be like this, but I would say that having a multi, not generational, multi.
Whoa! I think he just called one of you old.
Yeah,
no, he's the oldest.
I'm the old one.
Nice.
We have a girl. I don't know what this is. I can't think of the words.
You are diverse, sir.
Thank you.
Or possibly inclusive or whatever. Oh, yeah. We have a girl.
No, Kevin, no.
No, that works. You have a girl. That's true.
No, I think it's really important because you get different perspective. Like there's other conventions that are run that you can, can tell that it's not as diverse.
Yeah,
so,
no,
right.
You are 100% correct. I think that shouting "We have a girl" is an interesting way of portraying it. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
The words escaped me, and I don't mind embarrassing myself or coming off weird. So that's why I can talk to people on the phone and talk on camera. Because I'm like dad. I have like a dad persona now. Like I can embarrass my kids really bad, and it really doesn't bother me.
Matt Roy just posted an excellent idea, I think, on the you need a new banner for your website. Come to G2S. We have a girl.
I hope that
One whole girl
around a lot. That'd be amazing.
No, Kevin, no. Yeah.
I actually think that this might.
It's the last time we let Kevin speak on a podcast.
Nope.
Nope.
Matter of fact, I think I feel a hashtag coming on. I think that we can make hashtag we have a girl. This is
It does make a difference though, because I do make them sit down and go through harassment policies and
absolutely
stuff that maybe wouldn't be as much in the forefront.
Yeah, and we we laugh, but this is genuinely a really important thing.
It is a really important thing.
Absolutely. I think that it's nice.
Now that you made me cry laugh on camera, Kevin.
Because I'm amazing.
You are amazing, sir.
Thank you.
Now give me my game. Just saying. No, I agree that diversity and inclusivity sounds weird to me.
It doesn't even register as a real word.
No, it's inclusive.
Exactly.
But that's what he's trying for.
Yes,
but being inclusive. There we go. That one I can say without feeling like my brain is going to explode. I think those are really, really important things, and I'm glad that we are finally at a point where we can have this conversation. Because I feel like 5 years ago, this conversation just doesn't happen. At least it doesn't happen out in public discourse. It happens, but it's not something that we feel comfortable talking about. So I'm really glad that we have at least finally gotten to this point, and it's not.
Hence, when guys shout out, "We have a girl."
That was the conversation a couple years ago. That's how it was gone.
Yeah. Brandon, it sounds like a joke, but Brandon's not wrong. Like I remember vividly. Okay, so I used to work as an exhibitor at the big conventions for years and years and years. And I remember watching the ratio of men to women and noticing how off it was, how it was something usually. It was like a 9-to-1 ratio for the vast majority of my time as an exhibitor. And then last couple of years, it started to climb, and it got to the point where I would say it was maybe like 4-to-1 at Gen Con as an example. And that seemed amazing, and it's still messed up because it still shouldn't be
terrible.
Right, exactly.
It's a hell of a lot better. Yeah.
Right. I know. And it just feels so wrong. And you hear all these BS arguments about how, well, gaming is a guy thing. No, it's not. It's a people thing. It's just guys have somehow made it inaccessible, and so the fact that we're having this conversation is, I think, a really important thing. And so good on you for recognizing that and utilizing the girl that you
going to get a girl.
Yeah, and going and getting a girl and saying, look.
I want to say it was not a planned thing. It's just how it's worked out very well.
Yes.
Yes. It definitely does make a difference.
Because it wasn't like I was. It was
email and say that it brings them comfort to see there's a woman on the board.
Yeah.
And,
Because it definitely wasn't me and Mike sitting around a table going, "The girl, the girl."
Although
I'm the common thread between the boys. They didn't know each other.
Yeah.
We actually did know each other, just didn't realize we knew each other.
Didn't realize you knew each other. Yeah.
Nice. See? Hashtag. I'm telling you, this is happening.
A hashtag, maybe a hashtag, not a banner on the website.
Oh, I might make an anonymous donation to make this happen, Kevin. Let's have a conversation after the show's over. So
I do the website now, Bill.
That
You're
doesn't
talking
mean
to the wrong person.
I believe in us. We can do this, Kevin.
I do believe I'm still the admin, though. So
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. He is the admin.
Yeah, see?
That's true.
All right. So if people want to attend my birthday party and also potentially go to a game convention, where would they find out more info about all this?
GraniteGameSummit.com.
That's it?
At G2 Summit on Twitter.
And also on Facebook.
I don't do the Facebook. Yeah. Granite Game
But
Summit
it
on
exists.
Facebook.
Holy
It exists. I don't know how you find Facebook things.
There's a search bar.
You
at
just
the
search.
top.
There we go.
Search.
For Granite Game Summit on Facebook.
I'm gonna Google
I
Granite.
put it under my name. It's there now.
There we go. There, Kevin did it.
There you go. Thank you. Also, that makes more sense than whatever the thing was that you had under there before that I didn't understand. So there
Jam up, jelly tight. I have lots of little phrases like that, so I use them whenever I can.
Sure,
He does.
Because why not? Oh,
That's
God.
Kevin.
Well, off the rails we go. See, I think I'm going to blame Rich because Rich's podcast was all jacked up too, and
Oh, it was so
And
it
he
was
was-
hilariously.
and he was
very
my
bad.
opening act as we talked about on the show. So
Yeah.
that's there you go. We'll blame Rich.
I just dropped the thing. Sorry.
Of course you did. All right. So it occurs to me that as we get ready to wrap up another week of the Cubist here, Kevin has done rapid fire before. Kimberly has done rapid fire before.
Yeah, we
Brandon,
have.
have you done rapid fire?
I have, and I did it better than anyone
Oh.
else in the history of rapid fire.
Okay. So I think we have to and normally I don't make somebody do it a second time.
I think you have to do it then, don't you?
that you want me to do it?
I should have came up with some questions.
All right.
I can ask you just random things. Probably.
Okay. All right.
Let me
That's
look
fine.
around.
We'll do this. No, this is good. This is good. All right. So
I
I'll
got
tell
you.
you what. I'm going to close the chat window, and you guys can
Close it.
confab for a minute or two and figure out five questions.
your chat
I did
window?
indeed close the
I
chat
don't
window.
know where the chat window is.
Never mind, Kevin. Never
God.
You
mind.
guys figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that chat window.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
That chat window.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. And I just realized that they pop up as little windows over your faces as you talk. So I can't.
Don't even
All right.
look.
So I
Close
tell
your
you
damn
what,
eyes.
use the. Yeah, I was going to say, go to the YouTube chat window. That one I will close for realsies. There you go.
Okay, we'll do
Use-
that.
Use the YouTube chat window, which I now have closed, and you guys can coordinate. And those of you that are watching live, I know Matt and Dan are both watching live. You feel free to jump in and help them. Like, find 5 questions. I'm all right
Yeah,
with that.
help us.
I don't have any
All 2
problem.
of you.
There are at least 6 people watching the show according to the YouTube window. So we have 6 watchers. We just only have 2 people that are talking at the moment. That's all right. All right. So there will be cake. Will there be singing? I'm sharing my birthday party with somebody, aren't I?
Yes.
Who am I sharing?
I like this, Brandon. Ben Warren from the Dice Breakers. He will be 30. Our little Ben's going to be an adult.
I feel like he was probably already an adult before it now, but all right.
think
Yeah,
so.
maybe not tag Ben.
I love that. I love that not only are you an internet celebrity, but you attempt to be everyone's mom. Like, this is the other thing,
Yeah.
is that
Oh,
you somehow try to
boys. Yep.
mom the bejesus out of everyone. And
And I am definitely older than her, and she definitely moms me.
yeah.
I do.
I am older.
But Kevin dads me back, so it's good.
Yeah, I am older than her, and she tried really hard to mom me a couple of times at BGG as well.
All right, I think we have 4 questions, Brandon, right?
You need to have 5.
What do we have?
Okay. Oh, there we go. Matt offered up another one.
Okay.
All right,
Is
so
that
is
good?
this,
You good?
Yeah, we're good.
all
Are
right.
you going to
so-
give the questions, Brandon?
No, you're all over this.
Oh, I'm all over this.
I was just
I'm
helping.
so sorry, Bill.
Oh boy! All right, so rapid fire with me in the hot seat. This will be interesting. See,
Yep.
this is why live shows are weird. All right, I'm ready when you are.
All right, Bill, are you ready for this? What is your favorite 2-player game?
Fields of Arle.
What's your favorite thing in birthday cakes?
In birthday cakes, the frosting,
In-
specifically like buttercream frosting between 2 layers.
What is your favorite game that could be a Taco Bell meal?
Favorite game that could be a Taco Bell meal? How about? I'm looking over there at like. God, I don't know.
Rapid, Bill, rapid.
Yeah, I know.
Come
Okay,
on, Bill.
so whatever the CDMC 3000 that I just got from Mayday Games, it's a dexterity game about taking sushi out of a
Okay.
bowl with chopsticks. There you go.
Chopstick 3000 or whatever. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that one.
What is your favorite abstract game?
Favorite abstract Glooks, the one that just
The new one.
just dropped. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't like abstracts. That's the first one I remember hearing in
It's
a
a good
long
one.
time.
I
Actually,
enjoyed
really
it
liked.
too. And are you ready for your last and best question?
I'm prepared.
What is your favorite song for someone to strip to?
Song "You Can Leave Your Hat On" by Joe Cocker.
Wow,
If you're gonna,
that was amazing.
Hey.
That was very specific. I'm
Bill
proud.
has thought of it all.
Well, here's the deal. Bill is a DJ, remember. This is what I do for a living.
That's
And
true.
so when there's music that has to come on for very specific events, my job is to have that song in the back of my head for everything. So that's the first one that always pops into my mind for that. Otherwise, it's
Makes sense.
it's called The Stripper. What's the name?
I have no idea.
It's an old song. You'd know it if you heard it. But yeah, you can leave your hat on for sure.
All
For
right. Noted. I'll put
Matt,
that in my notes.
Take notes.
Yep.
Was that Matt's question? That was Matt's
That
question.
was Matt. Of course that was Matt's question.
Of course that was Matt's question. Oh, so much inside baseball tonight. This is terrible. Terrible. All right. But you know what isn't terrible is you two, and actually all three of you. Brandon, you're awesome. Thank you for. You are not awful. You are a fantastic. You are the best Ed McMahon ever. Ha! Ha! There you go. Kevin and Kimberly, thank you so much for being on the show and talking about G2S. I'm really looking forward to it. We laugh a lot about the ridiculousness that's going to be the quote unquote birthday party, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to come out there. And
You want the birthday party to be on Fancy Friday, right?
yeah.
Oh, you're doing a fancy event too.
I have a
Fancy
feeling that's going to
Friday.
be. Well, we did it at BGG. I mean, there were only like 4 or 5 of us, but we did it.
They were
Oh,
like
really?
8, I think.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
That's
There was
another
what?
Geekway thing that started, right?
Yes,
Right.
that's and that's Kathleen's fault. That's why it happened at BGG as well.
Yeah.
And the best part about it was me having the guy run over and wanting my picture and not Kathleen and her all pleather.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. That was easily the best part of the entire thing. So anyway, Kevin and Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on the show and helping this train wreck be at the very least interesting.
My face is still red from the cry laugh.
Yes, it is. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Next week, just a quick programming note for those of you that watch next week, unless Kimberly and Brandon decide they want to take the helm for a week, and I will
Pajama party.
we'll let them
party.
I seriously think
Pajama party.
I will let you guys, I will give you the keys to the kingdom for 1 week if you want this.
I may have to go buy me
Kevin's shaking his head.
may have to go buy me a nice unicorn onesie.
Oh,
Yes, that would be amazing.
Jesus. All right. Well, until all that nonsense happens, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Otherwise, I will not be here next week is where I'm going with this. I will be traveling on my way to North Carolina. So I might, if I can get to Wi-Fi, maybe I'll be in a hotel room by the time the show goes live. Maybe I'll check it out. So and God, I'll have to scrub my eyeballs with a Brillo pad when I'm done, but whatever, it'll happen. All right. Everybody have a great night. Enjoy your week. Get some gaming in, and we'll talk to you later.
Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.